Name's Brian. You know, live my life, work my 9 to 5, and after I'm done doing that, I like to treat myself with some good cooking, some good food. You know, do some grilling. Today we're smoking a brisket on the Traeger, and really excited to kind of share with you guys the process, and hopefully one day you can, you know, share this experience with your family too. So the very start, well, you get off work, go on down to the butcher, the local meat counter. You go down there and you find yourself a nice cut. And you bring it home, you know, make sure your grill's clean, all put together, all in working order. Get a good clean before you cook. Clean off that drip tray. You know, vacuum out your fire pot. Avoid any grease fires. That's a big one, grease fires. I've had one or two of those. I've only had it on a turkey. I've never had it with a brisket, thank goodness. But you just kind of shut her down and pull off your piece of charcoal after that. I prefer the full packer brisket. It's a combination of two different muscles, the point and the flat. Some people cook just flats. That's fine. It's a good cut of meat. But I like the full packer. You get the full experience, the kind of double feature, if you will. And you're gonna trim your meat, get it nice and the way you're gonna want it to cook. You're gonna trim some of the fat off. You know, the fat cap on top of that brisket, you want that 1/8 to 1/4 inch layer of fat. That's gonna help render down and keep the meat moist. Aerodynamics. Sounds silly when you're talking barbecue. But if you've got these rough, ragged, pointy edges, smoke's not gonna wrap around the brisket as well. So you kind of want the nice, rounded edges. You want smoke to flow and touch every surface of the meat. After your trim, you put up whatever rub you want. You know, if you ask a Central Texan, it's salt and pepper. If you ask someone in Kansas City, it's got all sorts of fancy stuff, paprika, brown sugar, etc. Me, I kind of do a little bit of a hybrid. I'll just do salt, pepper, a little bit of garlic powder. You know, salt really is king. You know, the kosher salt, it's gonna bring the moisture out. It's gonna help kind of solidify some of the proteins in the meat. It's gonna help you form that bark, the more salt it has. But, I mean, it's your canvas at that point. You put whatever you want on it. If you want it spicy, throw some cayenne in there. If you want it, you know, sweet, you can do the brown sugar paprika 1-2 combo like you would with a pork. Whether it's a pork butt, pork shoulder, you know, ribs, etc. Kind of at that point, it is your canvas. So I kind of go a little traditional with a little bit of flair. And then, you know, you just around 11 p.m., midnight, you throw it on 180 and let it get about 8 hours of smoke. It's a beautiful morning. The grill's coming along nice. We've got a beautiful 17-pound brisket on the pellet smoker. We're running hickory chips right now, and it smells wonderful. Had a great overnight smoke. We're gonna be eating like kings tonight. So some folks wrap, some folks don't. I prefer the wrap. So what the wrap is gonna do is that's gonna help the brisket hold heat. What that does is that's gonna hold in some of the oils, fats, and tallow. It's gonna help keep it moist, but it's not really gonna steam your bark. You're gonna have that nice kind of crispy bark that's gonna have that crunch and that bite as you go through it. The professional jargon for that would be the Texas crutch, which is gonna help you kind of hobble across the finish line, get into that 201 internal temp. Pull it, rest it, and you're eating like kings that evening. This is my favorite thing to explain to folks. So when you're cutting, the thing you're looking for, so the flat being more lean, you're gonna wanna cut about the width of a regular number 2 writing pencil. And the reason why is with less intramuscular fat, it's held together a little bit better with those protein strands. So you go the width of just a normal number 2 pencil, and that's enough to put a few slices on your plate. You can put it on a sandwich, whatever. Now the point with more intramuscular fat needs a little more bulk to kind of hold itself together, because you don't want a piece to fall apart in your hands, right? It's got to hold itself on its own weight. You want it to be tender and you can pull it apart, but you just don't want it to disintegrate. You know, this is something purely for yourself. You get to enjoy it. You get to watch your product, you know, slowly be molded and melded into the way you want it. And that's really it. That's it right there. You work yourself ragged, and then this is your time. A good time for reflection and relaxation, and, you know, cook for people you love, you know, and cook with love too. That's what it's all about. And that's what it is. It's the coming together of people. It's the birthdays, the anniversaries, the why the heck not, it's a beautiful weekend. It just brings people together. Really strengthens that human emotion and that human condition.